It is the birth of Jesus that is centric to all those Christmas celebrations, and the manger holds a significant spot. It is St. Francis of Assisi who is called the father of the manger because it was he who built the first manger way back in 1223. He went into the woods and built a manger, adding an ox and a donkey, but not Mary and Joseph. They were added in much later. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas, isn't it? We are just 8 days away. Welcome to Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo. Don't forget, subscribe or follow Kaleidoscope with Savithri Rodrigo on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. On our show today, we have a robotics engineer turned baker showcasing a culinary journey of Italy and Sri Lanka. We're also chatting with the head of one of the world's top 50 Islamic banks and watch the lights come on at the Shangri-La Colombo. And there's more.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy, Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
Here's a quick roundup of the week that was on Snapshot. Sri Lanka's economy contracted 1.5% in the third quarter, with agriculture being the only sector to record any growth. A survey by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce and USAID finds that 75% of Sri Lanka's exporters found new export opportunities during the pandemic. The T-Board is aiming at creating a $1 billion market, with entrepreneurs being encouraged to join in. Sri Lanka has its first national women's team for Dota 2, one of the world's most popular competitive multiplayer online battle arena games. Dubai becomes the first paperless government in the world, saving $345 million. Apple will soon become a $3 trillion company, becoming the world's most valuable company. We are back on Prime Group Kaleidoscope with our news capsule. The Islamic Finance Development Index, developed by Reuters, places Sri Lanka among the top 15 among 135 countries, and Sri Lanka's Amana Bank stands among the top 50 Islamic banks in the world, evaluated on its ability to scale, balance sheet growth, risk profile, profitability, asset quality, and liquidity. I had a quick chat with the CEO of Amana Bank, Mohammed Azmir, and asked him what it is about Islamic banking that adds fillip to the economy at this point of time.
Because it is aligned to the development, it is aligned to the real economy, and it really adds value to any progress in a society. Because it is a people-friendly, risk-reward sharing model, it is very attractive to every Sri Lankan here. It is the very reason we were able to attract FDIs even during the most challenging times.
So what do you think are the key reasons for Amana to be ranked among the world's top 50 Islamic banks?
I am particularly delighted of this ranking during this time where the pandemic has challenged the economies, and it has truly demonstrated the bank's resilience based on its model.
The Colombo stock market has been somewhat bullish this week. The all share price index moved up by 2.3%, with the average daily turnover being 4.8 billion rupees. WTI oil prices rose this week to close to $72 per barrel as demand from US consumers surged to a record high. Gold prices remained flat this week at $1,785 per ounce as the dollar held firm against all major currencies. If you want to find out who serves authentic Italian cuisine in Colombo, then take a peek at the coffee table book launched by the Italian Embassy in Colombo, Dolce Vita in Serendip. A first in the history of Italy-Sri Lanka relations, the book is a repository of Epicurean treasures with over 60 Italian recipes beautifully interwoven with tales and accounts of Italy's culinary history. We were at the launch of the book and asked the Italian ambassador Rita Manella how the book came about.
Was compelled to stay home, everything was closed, nobody could go out. And then we said, what can we do? At least, and then the idea came out, let's make a book of a collection of these recipes from this restaurant. And then it grew by itself with, adding some notes regarding history of pizza, gelato, the Romance, the Renaissance, trying to give the history of what is behind an Italian restaurant. It's not only pasta, it's not only pizza, it's a long history. So we try to give the perspective.
For the first time ever, the very first crew with disabilities completed a zero-gravity flight. Astro Access, an initiative dedicated to advancing disability inclusion in space exploration and zero-gravity cooperation, had a crew of 12 ambassadors who had mobility, vision and hearing disabilities. How magical! So pillow fighting is no longer child's play. It has moved into the boxing ring. Now there's the world's first ever professional pillow fighting league. Believe me, it's not a pushover.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 333. Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
Next up, we have a robotics engineer who became a semi-finalist on Netflix's Baking Impossible. That's on Srilanka Live. Let's talk.
We are here to better your lives and champion your every goal. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
He invented the world's first shape memory card, and that card led him to designing the world's first butterfly wall at LA Fashion Week. He was also on the world's first competition featuring Bakeneering, a Netflix reality show combining baking with engineering, Baking Impossible. Sri Lankan Menuka Gamage, who has lived in the US for 23 years, is an electrical prototyping and research engineer and a specialist in perception robotics. A toy designer as well, he's the founder and president of Nano Puppet and the creator of the proprietary muscle alloy miniature robotics technology to make greeting cards come alive, combining robotics engineering, fine art and illustration. Menuka and his teammate Brandy were semi-finalists on Baking Impossible. We are thrilled to have founder of Nano Puppet, robotics engineer and semi-finalist on Baking Impossible, Menuka Gamage on Srilanka Live. Let's talk. It's good to have you here back in Sri Lanka after your very wide, long stint in the US. How does an animatronics inventor and a robotics engineer become a baker?
So I grew up with three sisters. They always baking and I became the human, the batter mixer. So that's how I started baking when I was like 9 or 10 years old. So after I moved to US, I became electrical engineer, robotic engineer. Then I was continue doing that, and somebody noticed from one of my social media page.
So what got you interested in joining the show?
Tell you the truth, I wasn't doing anything that period because we were in the middle of the COVID. So my company was closed down. So I got a call from somebody. I thought that was a scam call, and I was like, why you need me for the baking show? They're like, no, we're doing something very interesting. We want, because your robotic background, we want to put you with a baker, and we want to create something very unique. And I was like, sign me up.
What was the most challenging thing you experienced in Baking Impossible?
I think working in the Baking is Impossible, I think working with the material was very challenging because the challenge itself is a big challenge. Like you have to make a floating boat or you have to make a robot. So we had to engineer those material to work it, float or make it like a wheel or something out of it, or earthquake building. So that was a challenge. Making, how do you make those material, because never done before. So we were doing for the first time in the show.
So how did you get into robotics and what was your big break?
So as a kid growing up in Mathura, I was, one day I was watching the Star Trek, the movie. So I saw these little gizmos like going around. I was like, what are those things? And somebody told me those are actually robots. So I knew exactly I want to be a robotic engineer. I want to build those things. So ever since that, I'm bugging like my parents, like, please send me to some other countries, like, so I can learn robotic, because back in those times we didn't have the program in Sri Lanka.
So tell me about LA Fashion Week and your involvement.
So yeah, it was really interesting. The LA Fashion Week, actually, they found out about the animatronic butterfly, so they came to us, to my company, hey, can you design something like a tabletop display or something? I'm like, tabletop display, how about I design a step and repeat wall, robotic wall? They were like, can you do that? Like, yeah, sure. So I designed the whole butterfly wall with 150 butterflies. Within actually 6 weeks. So that was a kind of a really big challenge, because you had all the celebrities and everything, they're going to take a picture, so you have to make sure everything working.
So what now for Menuka? Are there going to be more reality shows, or are you concentrating more on your inventions?
So I had to be very focused on my company, because I've been taking a little bit time off from my company. Now my company getting like, all the attention from social media. So I'm actually focused on company, and also, I'm trying to invest my 50% of my time with the STEM program for the teaching young kids how to use electronic, robotics, and mathematics. So I'm heavily involved with that space too. So hopefully I can keep the balance right.
I'm so glad you're involved with STEM education, inspiring young people to get into robotics as a career. Thank you, Menuka, for joining us on our show, and Merry Christmas. A boy from Mathura who is now a robotics engineer, head of a startup inventing world firsts, and a debut baker on a reality show. That was Menuka Gamage. Next week is Christmas Eve and we'll be picking our winners, so save the date, just subscribe or follow and you may just win. We have a fabulous 2-night stay at Tharu Villas, and don't forget, if you want a Christmas brunch or Christmas dinner at Table by Tharu or Christmas dinner at home, the number to call is right on your screen. A not to be missed 1-night stay at the picturesque Sigiriya Kings Resort. You can't get a better view throughout the day than this. Our iconic 5 stars, the Kingsbury and Shangri-La, are serving up some delights. A most exciting hamper from Park Street Gourmet with selections of goodies, and Santa's Jolly Box from Rodrigo's with some delectable delights. Celebrating the 12 days of Christmas is Healing Island, gifting us 2 handmade with love gift boxes for him and her. Pereira Hussein is gifting a must-read story to all our bookworms, My Checkered Life, the autobiography of veteran industrialist and sportsman Dr. Nihar Jinasena. And our homegrown restaurants, which have some of the best food, are giving vouchers: Harpo's Pizza, Bayleaf and Commons. December and Christmas is always a time of festivity in Colombo. Look around you and right inside as we go into the Shangri-La in Colombo to check out what Christmas is like on Life in 60. And I asked Shangri-La's General Manager, Hervé Dubosc, what Christmas was looking like at the Shangri-La.
We will start with our Christmas market in our lobby. We will have in our Sapphire Lounge our high tea, festive high tea. For the people who are looking for a bigger array of food, our central restaurant will be open. And for the others, we have the a la carte fine dining to celebrate this great festive season.
It's Christmas Eve next week and we'll be celebrating with lots of music, so save the date. Here's our Kaleidoscope Takeaway. Do good, live in the most positive and joyful way possible every day.